chorus is very easy. Everybody can join for the chorus. Govinda Hare, Gopal Hare, Nandalal Hare, Shri Krishna Hare.
Gopal Hare, Nandalal Hare, Shri Krishna Hare.
Adharam Madhuram, Vadanam Madhuram, Nayanam Madhuram, Hasitam Madhuram.
Govinda Hare, Gopal Hare, Nandalal Hare, Shri Krishna Hare.
Hridayam Madhuram, Gamanam Madhuram, Madhuradhipate Rakhilam Madhuram.
Govinda Hare, Gopal Hare, Nandalal Hare, Shri Krishna Hare.
Vachanam Madhuram, Charitam Madhuram, Vasanam Madhuram, Valitam Madhuram.
Gopal Hare, Nandalal Hare, Shri Krishna Hare.
Chalitam Madhuram, Bhramitam Madhuram, Madhuradhipate Rakhilam Madhuram.
Govinda Hare, Gopal Hare, Nandalal Hare, Shri Krishna Hare.
Venur Madhuro, Renur Madhura, Paner Madhura, Paro Madhura.
Govinda Hare, Gopal Hare, Nandalal Hare, Shri Krishna Hare.
Nrityam Madhuram, Sakhyam Madhuram, Madhuradhipate Rakhilam Madhuram.
Govinda Hare, Gopal Hare, Nandalal Hare, Shri Krishna Hare.
Geetam Madhuram, Geetam Madhuram, Bhuktam Madhuram, Suptam Madhuram.
Govinda Hare, Gopal Hare, Nandalal Hare, Shri Krishna Hare.
Rupam Madhuram, Tilakam Madhuram, Madhuradhipate Rakhilam Madhuram.
Govinda Hare, Gopal Hare, Nandalal Hare, Shri Krishna Hare.
Karanam Madhuram, Karanam Madhuram, Haranam Madhuram, Smaranam Madhuram.
Govinda Hare, Gopal Hare, Nandalal Hare, Shri Krishna Hare.
Amitam Madhuram, Shamitam Madhuram, Madhuradhipate Rakhilam Madhuram.
Govinda Hare, Gopal Hare, Nandalal गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरम्
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा श्रेष्ठिर्मधुरा
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः ओम श्री गुरुदेवाय नमः जयंती मंगला काली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्मा क्षमा शिवा धात्री स्वाहा स्वधा नमोस्तुते स्वाहा स्वधा नमोस्तुते Okay, if you're joining us today for the first time, we saw last night, we are seeing the Devi Mahatmyam. Last night we left it where the Devi being evoked by the Tej of all the various forms of Paramatma, the various forms of the Lord, and that Tej emerged from them and coalesced into this terrific form of the Devi, and she removed this Mahishasura, who was a diabolical, evil fellow who chased the Devatas out also. Means those who usurp the power and seat and belongings of others. Well, today there's going to be a similar story, because, and somebody was asking also, why the Devi has to come? Why not call Bhagwan? It is because these asuras, these are very smart fellows. See, Hiranyakashipu, how he said? I will not die inside. Means, what is my boon? I want a boon where I will not die inside, outside, up, down, night, day, by man, by animal, like that. So they come up with very creative things, you see. Evil minds are also very creative. Eh? Sometimes much more creative than, look here, any form of security we come up with to protect our money and protect our gold and protect our password and protect whatever, there are other guys waiting outside there to make sure that they breach everything or not. Huh? The moment you come up with some new security thing, they are waiting to. So evil minds are also very creative. They come up with anything. That is why people say they are one step ahead of the police. So now, these asuras, especially now this, last night we saw Mahishasura. When they did their tapas and the Lord appeared and said, okay, now what do you want? All your tapas you did. And there's one more thing people say. People ask this question also. If Bhagavan knows this fellow is going to do all these bad things, because he's Sarvagnya. Sarvagnya means he knows everything. He knows that this man will use all this power which he's getting and he's going to do all bad things. Why did Bhagavan give him the power in the first place? It looks like this Bhagavan, he enjoys giving him the power, let him go and do all bad things and then come and kill him. Like that people think, well, this is Tom and Jerry. So they ask this question also. So the answer to this question is very simple thing. Please see that all of us have what is called as Purushartha. Purushartha means freedom to act. We have Purushartha, right? And the law of Purushartha is like this. First law, every karma will have a result. Karma will have a result whether you jump high or jump low, you want it or you don't want it. Karma will have a result. Second law, the result of the karma will accrue to the person from whom the karma emanated and not to any other person. And in this, there is no such thing as this is a bad man and he is doing karma, so he will not get any result. And this is a good man and he is doing karma and he will get result. There is no such law. The law only is this, that karma will have result. Second, the result will go to the person who did the karma. Bas, the law finishes there. So it doesn't matter about intent, it doesn't matter about knowledge, it doesn't matter about anything. Karma has results. This is the law of the universe. So now, if a Rakshas does karma, the result will come. The Bhagavan also is helpless in the matter. Helpless means to say, Bhagavan has made the law, so now he has to abide by the law. So he gives. Like that. Otherwise, what will happen? So, suppose you pray to Bhagavan, Prabhu, don't give him now, please, because he'll create havoc, you know. Right? So Bhagavan listens to your prayers. So now, when you're doing some tapas, and your tapas, you want some great achievement through your tapas, means you want mukti, or you want something, purity of mind, or you want, whatever, concentration, dhyan. So you are doing some great tapas and karma to get that. Now he comes and tells, Bhagavan, don't give him, So now what Bhagavan will do? So therefore he listens to nobody. See, the fisherman who is going to fish out in the ocean in the night time, he prays for no rain. Because his fishing will be spoiled, I will not be able to fish. And while he's praying for no rain in the night time, the farmer goes to sleep in the night and he's praying, Prabhu, I just planted some plants today, So you please send some rain now. So who Bhagavan will listen to? So now poor Bhagavan will have to take one hand here and let rain come down, and one hand here and hold up the rain. No, the whole world works by karma. Karma pradhana biswakari rakha. The Lord placed the law of karma, and it doesn't matter which rakshas or which rishi or who does karma, the result will come. That is the law of the universe, you see. Right. So, the Rakshasas and all, the very creative fellows, what Mahishasura said, and now today also, same thing again. Prabhu, I don't want to die. Ravan also. When they did tapas and Bhagavan came, I don't want to die. So Bhagavan, no. This is the only one boon we don't grant. We are in the business of granting boons, but this is an exception. We don't grant this boon. You have to die. So then they come up with creative things, how they will die. Right? So this Hiranyakashipu said like that, I will not die inside also. He thought, well, he covered all grounds, But Bhagavan has the last say. And Ravan also, I will not die by any devata or this or that. I will only die by the hand of a man. Ravan's boon. And he knew, well, I am so strong, which man will kill me? Now this Mahishasura, he said, I will only die at the hands of a woman. Now what will happen? He's thinking, which woman will kill me, No man can kill me, what to talk about? He's thinking. But he doesn't know Adi Shakti, Parashakti, Bhagavati Devi, the power of the Lord himself manifest. He's discounting all of that, you see. So, she came there and removed him. That is why the Devi has to be invoked like that. Because they knew. Then, when that Mahishasura died, the Devatas and all, they sang stuti for the Devi, Bhagavati, and they asked for a boon. This is, now we did not see that last night. What is this boon? Now we'll see. Before she departed, they asked for a boon. Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
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 Yadi Chapi Varodeyah,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Tvayasmakam Maheshwari,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Samsvrita Samsvrita Tvam no,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Himsetha Paramapadah,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe.
Jagadamba Mata ki jai. This is very interesting. Another question that pops up here all the time, is this thing. Why these devatas, only when they get in trouble, then they go and they worship Bhagavan and all, Worship Devi, worship Bhagavan. They wait till they get in trouble. And that is why Tulsidas ji writes, in a very famous. The answers are there everywhere. See. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama,
Shri Ram Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Rama,
बड़े भाग्य मानुष तन पावा, सुर दुर्लभ सब ग्रंथ गावा।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
साधन धाम मोक्ष कर द्वारा।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
पाइन जेहि परलोक सवारा।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। So people ask this question, why these devatas and all? Only when they get in trouble. And look here, people who ask this question, they do the same thing. Only when you get in trouble, we worship Paramatma. So the reason is, devatas, they are born in a loka called as Swarga Loka. And that Swarga Loka, the only thing that they're engaged in is bhoga. Bhog means pleasures. They're only engaged in pleasures. And so the rule is then, the person who is only engaged in pleasures, they don't remember Bhagavan. Only when they get in trouble, then they start thinking about the Lord. दुख में सुमिरन सब करे, सुख में करे न कोई. So Swarga is a place of enjoyment, and so they enjoy. And when they get in trouble, then only they now start thinking, oh, now we have become vagrants, homeless, bag lady, bag man. Let's go and worship Bhagavan, like that. Whereas here, they are very this it ties in with one of the questions we were asking, people were asking today also. There is the other side of life here, where there's a good mix of sukha and dukkha. And so that dukkha causes us to turn towards the Lord on a daily basis. There the Devata, they will enjoy for thousands of years. And then finally, this Mahabali or Mahishasura or one of them will come. After these fellows have enjoyed for thousands of years. So they were so intoxicated with all the enjoyment, they forget that, this thing could happen or that thing could happen. But here, on a daily basis, we have a good mix of joy and sorrow. That is why Tulsidaji's Chaupai is telling, what is that? Bare bhagi manushu tan pava sur durlabha sab granth nahi gawa. The scriptures say that this body of a human being is difficult even for the devatas to get, because when they get a devata body, all they do is enjoy. When we get a human body, we get a good mix of joy and sorrow, and so the sorrow pushes us to do sadhana and do spiritual, get engaged in spiritual practice and all that kind of thing, and so move faster towards Bhagavan. So bare bhagya manushatan pava. So lucky we are, fortunate to have a human birth. Otherwise than that, devata's birth, well, we'll be distracted by all bhog only. And therefore, if I am living in this life and I am not using the dukkha constructively to move towards Bhagavan, I am living just like the devatas, well, calamity will strike like that at some time, just like it strikes them. And now the same people who are supposed to be elevated and living in a higher world and all of that, they become vagrants. So here, the devatas now got into trouble. When they got into trouble, then they thought, okay, let us go and propitiate and all. And then they did. And the Devi came, removed. And now For the first time now, in this Devi Mahatmyam, you're seeing the Devatas planning for the future a little bit. Little bit. What are they planning now in this shloka which we just chanted? They say, Yadi chapi varo deha tvaya asmakam maheshwari samsmrita tvam no himsetha paramapadaha. Means, Ma, please grant us this one boon, that in future, when we get into trouble, you grant this one boon, when we get into trouble and we remember you, you please come and remove our trouble, like that. So at least now they're thinking a little bit ahead. And then the gracious mother, now you see, this is mother, Mother is mother no matter what you do. They will go, they forget the mother totally after that. She just came and saved them. They forgot totally. And when started doing what? I think we got back our Swarga, we got back our, everything. Went straight back to Bhog only. Forget totally. The mother said, Iti prasadita devaihi jagataha arte tathatmanaha tatha iti uktva bhadrakali. She said, tathastu. So be it. When you remember me when you get in trouble in the future, and look here, not only the Devi tells, this is there everywhere in Shastras, Bhagavan tells over and over, that when you remember me, I will be there for you. But in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, you cannot just forget me your whole life. And then when it is time for you to go, then you try to remember me. You will not be able to remember. You see? So we have to go, we are in human bodies, we have to go on remembering the Lord all the time. But anyway, she granted this boon to them. This is at the end of the 4th chapter, she granted that boon. And the Devatas went back to their original bhog, and forgot the Devi totally. And then what? Well, Kashyap and his wife Danu, they had 2 sons. These 2 sons, their name was Shumbha and Nishumbha. Well, I'm sure you have heard these names already. Kashyap and Diti. Kashyap is the progenitor of both the Devas and Asuras. So there are 2 sisters. 2 sisters. One is Aditi and one is Diti. So he married these 2 sisters, and from one side was born all Devatas, and one side was born all Danavas, like the Asuras and all. Yeah. So it's the same. This is one more thing. Today, again, somebody asked this question over there. There is only one reality in the universe, and from the one reality, all things have come. So this story symbolizes this thing. From the one Kashyap, who is the father, all Devas and Asuras, both sides, like that. You see, symbolism. So anyway, now this Shumbha Nishumbha, another pair here, 2 fellows. Let's see there. Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
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 Pura Shumbha Nishumbhabhyam,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Asuravyam Shachipatehe,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Trailokyam Yajna Bhagascha,
Jai Ambe
कामदबलाश्रया
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे
तावेव सूर्यतां तद्वत्
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे
अधिकारं तथैन्दवम्
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे
कौबेरं थयतां च
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे
कौबेरवतयाम्यां च
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे
चक्राते वरुणस्य च
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे
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 Jagadamba Mata ki jai. Now see, last night I gave you a little structural chart here to follow. So here is that Jiva who is by nature just like Paramatma, Sat Chit, and Ishvara Amsa Jiva Avinashi, Chetan Amal Sahaja Sukhrashi. This Jiva is of the same nature as Paramatma, Sat Chit, Anand. But this Jiva smitten by Ajnan, ignorance. So the first thing that happens now after that, Jiva conditioned by ignorance. And what happens to the Jiva? He suffers moha, delusion, because of that ignorance. So there is Ajnan, ignorance, then moha, delusion, and from there onwards now, what is born? Me and mine. And when that me and mine comes, so that me and mine leads to all the other things over here on the bottom. I told you about that. Calm, desire, anger, greed, jealousy, malice, pride, all these things that we see in the workplace every day. Everything we see by the traffic light. When the traffic light turns green and you don't drive. Yeah? So every day you see this line here on the bottom. The fellow behind gets angry. And in Canada, you have a very wonderful way to express your anger and to make that anger get translated into an insult. Like that. In that honking of that horn, so many words are said also, isn't it? Anyway, so on the bottom, all these impurities. Now, here, these two asuras who were born, these two fellows, they are this me and mine. This ego which we saw last night as Mahishasur, the ego, individual ego which we saw last night as Mahishasur, that ego stands on two legs. The ego stands on two legs of what? Me and mine. This is the most lethal expression of Maya. When Lakshmana asked Bhagavan Sri Ram, what is Maya? Bhagavan Sri Ram replies. This is the reply to what is Maya in Aranyakanda. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram.
Main arumor torte maya.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram.
Jehi pas कीने जीवन काया.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram.
Meru mor torte maya.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram.
Jehi pas कीने Ramachandra ki jai. We hear big words, Avyakta Maya, Paramesha Shakti, and so many big words we hear and all. But when Lakshmana asked Bhagavan, what is this Maya? Because it's very difficult to comprehend this Maya. So Bhagavan breaks down this Maya in very simplest of terms. What is it? Me, Aru, More. Me and mine. Because the moment I say me and mine, I'm now leaving out you and yours. That is like two sides of the same coin. Me and mine. So wherever there is me and mine, there will be you and yours. This is me and mine, this is Maya. So this Shumbha Nishubha, which we are seeing here now, these two fellows are the two legs of me and mine on which the ego stands. Our ego runs with this me and mine. Bhagavan Shri Krishna talks about this in Bhagavad Gita numerous times. Nirmamo nirahankara shanti madhigacchati. He says the person who gives up his me and mine, he reaches the supreme state of Shanti immediately. Nirmamaha nirahankara. This is me and mine in Gita, in second chapter. And comes throughout the Gita. You see? So now here the two fellows born from Kashyap and Danu. And what they did? Well, what do Pinky and the brain do? Pinky and the brain do exactly what they do every day. When the Rakshasas are born, that is what they do. Ravan tried to take over every place also, but of some places he could not go, because when he came to Kishkinda and he tried to give some trouble to Bali, he realized that there are other powerful people also, Otherwise he would have taken Kishkinda also. But Bali gave him a good response, you see. And anyway, the verse says that this Shumbha Nishumbha, Para Shumbha Nishumbha, Bhyam Asura, Bhyam Shachi Patehe Trailokyam Yajna Bhagascha Hrita Madabala Shrayat. Means to say, with their arrogance now, means puffed up with their arrogance, they came and they took over Swarga. And all the people make offerings to the different deities. Om Indraya Swaha Idanna Mama, Om Agneya Swaha Idanna Mama. People they make offering like this. So you offer to Agni, to Indra, to different deities and all, right? Varunaya Swaha Idanna Mama, like that. Well, Shumbha Nishubha came and took over Swarga, and they sat there now as the two Raja, and now they were taking all the offerings. When the offerings are made to Indra, well, I am sitting on Indra's throne, who will get it? They are sitting on Indra's throne. I don't know how the two of them fit on the throne. The scripture doesn't tell. Maybe they took turns or whatever they were. Anyway, but they were taking all the offerings and all of that, right? So this is what this shloka is. And not only that now, exact same thing we saw last night. What is that? Absolute power. They took over and all the names are given here. Tau eva suryatam. They took over the power of Surya Dev. Then Adhikaram Tatha Indavam, they took over the power of the moon, Indu. Then Kauberam Atha, they took over the power of Kuber, they took the treasury. Kuber is the one who has the treasury. Then Varunasya, they took over the Varuna, who was in charge of waters and all that. Then Pavana, all the names are given here. Vahni, Agni. So they took over just last night, absolute power, everything. So now, when the Devatas got dispossessed, like we say last night, like we told last night, then what? The Devatas remembered, now they are kicked out. We had asked the Devi that whenever we get in trouble, no, until now, no remembrance, and zero. We had asked, when we get in trouble, and we remember her, she had promised that she will come. So this is there now in number 6 in the next chapter. Jai Ambe Jagadambe, Jai Ambe Jagadambe, Jai Ambe
हे अम्बे जगदम्बे
भवतां नाशयिष्यामि
हे अम्बे जगदम्बे
तत्क्षणात् परमापदः
हे अम्बे जगदम्बे
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे
हे अम्बे जगदम्बे
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे
हे अम्बे जगदम्बे
जगदम्बा माता की तयास्माकं वरो दत्तः, that she had given a boon to us. And now this is not real spirituality. This is only when I get in trouble, then I pray to it. And then when she goes away, I go back to my thing, whatever it is. This is not real spirituality. We don't consider it as real spirituality. But they remembered her, and then she had given her also a promise that if you remember me when you get into trouble. So now, being dispossessed by Shumbha Nishubha, these two, me and mine, dispossessed by them, the Devatas remember the Devi, and Yathapatsu, what she had promised, Yatha apatsu smrita khilaha, that when we remember her totally, we have to remember. We have to remember her only. When we are in trouble, apatsu means in difficult times. When we remember, then Bhavatam nashayishyami, she had said, I will come and I will destroy your all troubles. Paramapadaha, takshana, in a moment I will come. And what a wonderful thing. The Lord is such. And the Devi, the mother, whether it is the masculine form of Paramatma or the feminine form of Paramatma, is so compassionate that even if we forget him every single day, but we remember him now when we get into trouble, at that time also, Bhagavan will manifest. The Lord, the mother will manifest. How compassionate the Lord is. He never looks at or she never looks at our, transgressions and, oh, you did not remember me your whole life. Oh, now you came. Like that. We do that. Human beings do that. I remember going to meet my grandfather one time. This is a real story. When he looked at me, Arey, beta, you came. What do you want? Because he knew that if you came, I don't come. I usually don't come there. But if I came, that means to say, I want something. Yeah. So I only remembered him when I wanted something. So, the Devatas may be able to do this. The Devatas may be able to do this. But ordinary human beings, we are not so well equipped to do this. When it is time to remember Bhagavan, that time our mind starts swirling, isn't it? The mind goes everywhere. And what it goes everywhere, look, I'll tell you. When I get in trouble, and it is time to remember Bhagavan, many people, they jump on the other side. In the first place, why did Bhagavan do this to me? I have met so many people like this, Why did Bhagavan do this to me? Every day I am doing good things, I am, living a good life, I am living an honest life, and so why Bhagavan did this to me? So now instead of remembering Bhagavan in any good way, now too many people have told me, Swamiji, I am angry with Bhagavan. But Tulsidaji said that also is okay. Bhaya kubhaya anak alasahu. Nama japat mangala disi dasahu. But if I remember Bhagavan with good thought, or if I remember Bhagavan with bad thought also, it's still okay. Just remember Bhagavan. Yes. Bhai kubhai means with good feeling, or yes, remember Bhagavan. It's still okay. So anyway, the Lord being so compassionate, it doesn't matter now if you remember him with anger, or if you remember him with joy, or whatever. So the Devi also doesn't mind now. These Devatas, now they worshipped her. And a long stuti takes place here. They remember that, oh, she had said, she had promised. So now, this is And you know what is famous about this stuti? All of you know there are 27 verses of one type in this stuti. Of course, this stuti is way longer than 27 verses, but there are 27 verses which says, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu, then Kshudha Rupena Samsthita. And I want to tell because I have heard too many different chantings of this thing. So the word there at the end is Samsthita. Please say this word. Samsthita. Because I hear too many different pronunciations down at the end there. So, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Nidra Rupena Samsthita. Namastasyai, 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 Namo Namaha. The other parts of it is, they're okay, people chant it fine. But this one word, everybody say, I had heard many versions of it. Samsthita. It means to say, oh Devi, you are the one who is the very nature of sleep itself. And so it gives all different things. Like for example, I'll tell you some of them. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Vishnu Mayeti Shabdita. So it doesn't start here, it's Samsthita. You are the very embodiment of the Maya of Bhagwan Vishnu. And only one word goes on changing in all the verses like that. One word down the line. Like Buddhi Rupena Samsthita. You are Buddhi itself, the intellect. Nidra, you are sleep itself. Kshudha, you are hunger itself. Like that. Chaya Rupena Samsthita. Chit Chaya. The reflected consciousness in our intellect. She is that only. Like praise to the Devatas goes on and on. They praise the Devi in all of these lines. And it goes on for a couple pages well. And interestingly, see this, people are asking the question there, but the answers are coming here, you know. Jai Ambe Jagadambe, 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 Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu, Jai Ambe Jagadambe, Bhranti Rupena Samsthita, Jai Ambe Jagadambe, Namastasyai Namastasyai, Jai Ambe Jagadambe, Namastasyai Namo Namaha, Jai Ambe Jagadambe, Jai Ambe Jagadambe, Jai Ambe Jagadambe. Jagadamba Mata ki jai. So as the words are changing, one word changing, going down the line, here comes this word, Bhranti Rupena Samsthita. That, oh Devi, you are Bhranti also. Bhranti means confusion, error, mixed up. You know, when your mind is confused, that is called Bhranti. When the mind is, so she is of the nature of Bhranti also. So whenever there is Bhranti in the mind, next time you think, whenever my mind is confused, oh, I'm so confused. Then you should say, I'm so blessed. The Devi is in my mind also, you know. What it means to say. Bhranti also means error. Error is the obverse of truth. So if she is truth, she also has to be error, because we told that there is only one source of the whole universe. And that one reality has manifested as both the positive charge in the atom as well as the negative charge in the atom. And the two cannot exist independently. They need each other. And I was telling today that we live in a two-stroke universe. For the bicycle to move forward, you have to have one pedal ahead and one pedal behind. And then there is a exchange. And then in that way, the bicycle moves forward. So in the same way, this sort of tussle between the desirable and the undesirable in the mind, this constant tussle is what makes me evolve. If that is not there, there will be nothing that for me to evolve. That tussle has to be there. I will just be a stagnant being. A bicycle with one pedal will not go anywhere. I mean, you could try. You say, no, Swamiji, I'll hold the bicycle and run like anything. Then why are you carrying the bicycle then? You run without the bicycle. So, the two must be there for the universe to move. And the two have evolved from the same reality. So, when we see otherwise many people, let me tell you one more thing. There is no such thing in other religions of the world. There is no, if you say that God himself is Satan, that's blasphemy. God only has manifested as Satan. That will be blasphemy. You can't say. Such things are not allowed because there is a dualistic universe and the twain shall not meet. There is a hell and there is a heaven. The two never meet. This thing you will only find in Sanatana Dharma, where it is one reality which has manifested as both. And it's a very easy thing to understand also. There is good here and there is evil here, let us say. The two exist or not? Well, the two exist. The two are made up of existence. That existence is called as Sat. There's one more thing in all of that. These are very ticklish questions which come all the time in our mind. The one more thing in this is like this. When we say good and evil, that is only a manner of seeing. It's from where you are standing, something is good or evil. I'll give you an example. You see, you say you have nice perfume, so it smells so good. But then all your sewer goes into the sewer system, and who wants to smell that sewer system? That thing smells stinky. We say like that, right? Stinky. But I tell you, there are trillions and gazillions of bacteria living in there. And you go and you ask one of those fellows, what do you think about this sewer? He will say, well, we are in Swarga. This is not sewer. Why you call it sewer? You should say Swarga. So and every bacteria is a jiva. Eh? Please remember, every single bacteria is a jiva. The number of jivas are infinite. So you ask that jiva about where he is living in the sewer. Well, from his standpoint, he is not in sewer. Aram se swarga mein. So, where you are standing, you are calling something as good or evil and stinky and this and all the other things. But really, that is only your standpoint, your drishtikon, your viewpoint. You see? And when you start thinking like this now, you will realize that why, or you will ask yourself, why is my drishtikon more important than any other jiva's drishtikon? In fact, the number of human beings on the earth is minuscule. They say what? Gurudev used to tell, 0.00003%. So it's 0.0, like 1/10,000 of 1%. Human beings. Those fellows are majority. The bacteria and all of that. So why is your viewpoint more important than them? So when you start thinking like this, you realize, oh, I think so strongly about what is good in this world and what is evil and what is all of those type of things. That is why we don't have words in our Sanatana Dharma for good and evil. What word we have, Please see, we don't have word for good and evil in Sanskrit. We have dharma and adharma, and those are not the same thing. It means to say that there are a set of rules. If I follow, I will get mukti. Those things are called as dharma. And if I do the converse of that, I will reverse in my evolution rather than go forward. That thing is called as adharma. So, and then the choice is given at the end of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan Shri Krishna very clearly tells to Arjuna, "Are my dear, I have told you already. Vimrishai tata sheshina. What I have told you, think about it well. And then at the end, yatha ichhasi tatha kuru. As is your wish, you do. And this is the path of dharma, and this is the path of adharma. And if you follow dharma, you get this. If you follow adharma, you get this. Now you think about it and you make your choice like that." Very nicely done by Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Our freedom is preserved also. So we have what is called as dharma and adharma, and if we follow dharma, we'll eventually get mukti, and if we follow adharma, but in that, we don't say such strong statements, because all of us have Western education, we go and say such strong statements as good and evil, and this one is bad, and that one is bad, and so many things are bad. Anyway, good and bad is mixed up in everything in the world, like that. So, when we see lines like this, the Devi is also Bhranti, error, confusion, delusion. Bhranti also means delusion. She is also delusion. Well, this is just one word to represent, to make us remember that she is everything. Okay, anyway, so they, like that, this still goes on. It praises, and then finally, after so many verses, the Devi manifested. This is now 83. Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
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 Stotram Venktat Kriyate,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Shumbha Daitya Nirakritaihi,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Deve Mametate Samare,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Nishum Dhena Parajitai,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Sharira Koshratasyaha,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Sharira Koshtatyasya,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Parvatya Nisitambika,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Aushikiti Samasteshu,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Ato Lokeshu Giyate,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe.
Jagadamba Mata ki jai. Stotram Mama etat kriyate shumbha daitya anirakritya. Now see, they did all the stuti, praise the Devi based on her boon, and now the Devi appeared there to remove this Shumbha and Nishumbha. Which Shumbha and Nishumbha? The same Shumbha and Nishumbha who had dispossessed the devatas and threw them out, kicked them out from their own Swarga and all. This is what this verse is telling. But now, the next verse tells that her name is Kaushiki. Why her name is Kaushiki? Well, the story goes here that she appeared as Durga first. She appeared as Durga. And from Durga's body came out a very wonderful, beautiful form of the Devi. And since she had came out from the Annamaya Kosha of Durga, the physical body of Durga, her name is Kaushiki. Now, the Devi Mahatmyam like this goes on in many places to tell why the Devi got this name and that name and the other name, because you hear so many names, right? So why she's called as Kaushiki? Because she came out from the Kosha, mean this Annamaya Kosha. So she's called as Kaushiki, of Kosha of Durga. And then, the moment she came out, she turned the dark color. When she emerged, she turned into a dark color. And then so Kalika in the next line he says. She got the name Kalika also. So she's called as Kalika, she's called as Kaushiki, she's called as Durga, she's called so many names are there in this Devi Mahatmyam and all that. But anyway, when she came out now, two of the henchmen of Shumbha and Nishumbha, two of them, they were there because all the devatas were worshipping her, and this stuti was being sung loudly. It was reverberating throughout the whole world. So these two henchmen of Shumbha and Nishumbha, their names are also given, Chandamunda. It's an amazing thing. These fellows always come in pairs, The only one brave soul here was Mahishasura. That fellow walks alone. Yeah. Otherwise, all the rest of them, they are coming in pairs like that. We've been seeing from the first day. So now these two fellows, Chandamunda. You know one more thing? I'll tell you. Bad people, what we call bad people, they are always united. And good people, you know why? The reason is that when people say bad things about bad people, when they curse bad people, and they, malign bad people, all the bad fellows think they are talking about us. So they take it equally that they are talking about us. But when you praise good people, every good person, they're talking about me. They're talking about me. All the good people. So he takes that for his own self. Yes. This is why bad people are united, because they take all the insults equally. And all the good people, they take the praise personally. Yes. Like that. So these fellows will never be united, because that praise was mine, not his. Like. So anyway, now the Chandamunda, this pair, they were there. Now these were two, and they saw this beautiful Devi. They were two henchmen of this Shumbha Nishumbha. And they thought, oh, well, she by herself is a treasure. She is the most beautiful being in the whole universe, And our king, our masters, Shumbha Nishumbha, they have already collected all the treasures in the whole universe. They are thinking, they go to their king and they tell him. See, this is number 93. Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
Yani Ratnani Manayo,
Jai Ambe
samastani
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
tam bhranti te grahe
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Evam Daitendra Ratnani
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Samastanya Hritani te 100
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Sriratnanesh Sriratna Sriratnanesha Kalyani
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Vayakasmana Grihyate
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Jagadamba Mata ki jai. Now see, there's a lot of wonderful lessons. We are coming to the end of today's and we cannot finish this story. We will have to finish tomorrow because there are too many wonderful things in here. So now, the two of them go to their boss. Their boss, you know, you have collected all the gems in this world already. So this is in 93. Yani Ratnani Manayo Gaja Ashwa Adini Vai Prabho Trailoke tu Samastani Sampratam Bhrantite Griha. You, both of you have collected all gems and jewels and gold and whatever, anything that was worth anything, they collected from the whole world already and brought it. Shumba Nishumba. So now see, you're seeing me and mine here or not? I have this much and I want this should be mine and this should be mine and that should be mine, and there are nations who do this also. Shumba Nishumba, mine, bring it, bring everything. So anyway, they collect it. So now Chandamunda giving music to the air, to the two of them. What music? Evam Daitendratnani Samastani Ahritani te means to say, you have collected all the gems in this world, but there is a gem which just appeared in Himalayas. That Devi is of exquisite beauty. There is no such thing in the whole universe like her. All the gems which you have collected, they fade into, insignificance in front of this gem which just appeared there. They're talking about the Devi now. And they suggest, among women, she is the greatest gem that you would ever see. And therefore, Tvaya Kasmat na Grihyate. By both of you. Why should she not be also collected and brought here? Like one best gem among all the gems. So these two suggest to Shumba Nishumba now that you should also. So now, the topic in this verse is a very, very important topic. That thing is called as entitlement. This is a big topic, Entitlement. You wouldn't believe the depth of this disease in human civilization. It goes unnoticed quite often, but it is a very big disease. There is a word which was coined some 40, 50 years ago. We have the word for when you catch a flu, they call it influenza. Influenza. Well, somebody used that word about 40, 50 years ago, and they coined a word affluenza. It is a big word. And what is the meaning of affluenza? That when people become affluent, they feel entitled. Like somebody was giving me a nice example of the fellow who in Banaras. The real story. in Banaras. He's a foreigner, he's from outside. He was walking in Banaras and somebody told him that there's a pharmacy just few buildings. So he walks down a few buildings and he looks for the pharmacy and he's not seeing. And of course all the signs are written in Hindi. The signs are written in Hindi and he cannot read Hindi. So he keeps looking and looking and he can't see this pharmacy. And somebody who could speak a little bit of English, they asked him, well, what are you looking for? He said, I am looking for the pharmacy. So the man said, the pharmacy is right here. This is the pharmacy. So the sign is written in Hindi, so he could not read it. But what his reply was, then why the hell did they not write it in English? Now I'm telling that these type of things, they go unnoticed. But there is a civilization who feels that they are entitled. That if they come into your country, you should write the sign to suit them. That is entitlement or not? That is entitlement. So that thing is ringing behind, that type of entitlement is a real disease of human beings, terrible disease also. You just have to look around a little bit more clearly and you will see it everywhere. People feel entitled. And that's why he coined the word affluenza. So, here now, Chandamunda comes and tells, our boss, he is the one who has everything. So now he is entitled to any more gem that springs up anywhere in the world. That gem should come to Shumba, Nishumba. That gem should not go any other place. And Shumba, Nishumba now, the two of them, they are thinking, well, he's right. I mean, we are the rightful owners of any gem that. How you became the rightful owner? Well, you develop affluenza. Like that. So, he now deputes Sugriva. No, this is not Sugriva from Ramayana. He deputes one of his own person and he sends him there, Sugriva, and he tells, you go and tell her exactly what I'm telling you. Don't say what you want to say. You go and tell her what I am telling. So Sugriva now goes there and exactly as the boss told him to tell, now this is 108. See. Jai Ambe Jagadambe 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 Mama Trailokyamakilam Jai Ambe Jagadambe Mama Devavashanuga Jai Ambe Jagadambe Yajna Bhaganaham Sarvan Jai Ambe Jagadambe Upanashmi Prithak Prithak Jai Ambe Jagadambe Upashrami Prithak Prithak Jai Ambe Jagadambe Trailokye Vararatnani Jai Ambe Jagadambe Mama Vashyanya Sheshatah Jai Ambe Jagadambe Athaiva Gajaratnam Cha Jai Ambe Jagadambe Ritam Deve Jagdamba Mata ki. Now see here. The summary of the whole thing is he sends Sugriva. Shumba sends Sugriva. Shumba is the older one, so he sends Sugriva. Sugriva goes. And the objective of Sugriva is to tell the Devi, well, our boss, is the boss. So you should come and marry the boss. This was the objective of the whole thing, right? Well, you know that. If you are going to do some matchmaking and all that kind of thing, right? You know, in the good old Indian tradition, when you go there, the boy goes over to the girl's house and they go to see that prospective bride and all that kind of thing. Well, they show off all their good qualities. The bride to be goes and makes chai and all that kind of thing and brings it on her. And I heard a very nice story where the boy comes over and they ask him, well, what will you have? He said, well, at home, I usually have only chai. But since I have come to this house, I will have chai, and I will have pakoda, and I will have samosa, and I will have momo, and like that he said. Then that prospective mother-in-law, she looks at him. She said, Beta, you just imagine that you are in your own home. Yeah. Anyway, so in the good old tradition there, what happens is, we speak about what we call as gunas. We speak about the good qualities, that the person is honest, the person is compassionate, we'll speak about those qualities, right? Because you want to get married to a person who has all gunas as described in Shastras and all that kind of thing, right? Well, Sugriva goes there and he's the matchmaker now. So instead of talking about all the, my boss is a very compassionate man, he has a large heart. And no. Sugriva goes and tells, my boss, Mama Trailokyam Akhilam. And he tells him what to tell, say it in the first person. So Sugriva is speaking what the boss said in the first person. I am the Lord and Master of the three worlds. Like that. He starts like that. I am the Lord and Master of the three worlds. Mama Devaha Vashanugaha. And I am the controller and master of all the devatas. They do my bidding also. So he goes, so in other words, he goes there and starts talking, and like this, Yajna Bhaganaham. I also get all the sarvan. I get all the offerings of all the devatas. I enjoy them. It's Shumba, and then I consume them. Trailokya Vararatnani Mama Vashyani Asheshataha. I control all the wealth and all the jewels and gems in the world. In other words, he went to buy a bride. Because with his power and all his money and all that kind of thing, he's like this, he's trying to get the Devi to come and marry him, instead of telling all the good qualities and all. Well, the Devi listened to Sugriva, listened. And then after listening to all the boasting about, she tells, well, okay, I will marry your boss. I will marry your boss on one condition. And what is that condition? We'll see tomorrow. Okay. This is a very interesting story. You're going to start then. Now everybody will go home and do research. Chat GPT. Everybody will. जय अम्बे गौरी मैया जय श्यामा गौरी तुमको निस दिन ध्यावत तुमको निस दिन ध्यावत हरि ब्रह्म
निश दिन ध्यावत, तुमको निश दिन ध्यावत, हरि ब्रह्मा शिवरी, ओम जय अम्बे गौरी।
मांग सिंदूर विराजत तीको मृग मद को मैया
को मृग मद को,
उज्ज्वल से दो नैना,
उज्ज्वल से दो नैना,
चंद्रवदनी को
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी।
कनक समान कलेवर रक्तांबर राजय मैया
रक्तांबर राजे,
रक्त पुष्प गलमाला,
रक्त पुष्प गलमाला,
कंठन पर साजय
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी।
ये हरिवाहन राजत खरग खपर धारी मैया
खरग खपर धारी,
सुर नर मुनि जन सेवक,
सुर नर मुनि जन सेवक,
सुर जन मुनि जन सेवक,
सुर नर मुनि जन सेवक,
जिनके दुख हारी
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी।
आनन कुंदल शोभित नासाग्रे मोती मैया
नासाग्रे मोती,
भौतिक चंद्र दिवाकर,
कोटिक चंद्र दिवाकर,
समराजत ज्योति,
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी।
शुंभ निशुंभ विदारे महिषासुर घाती
मैया महिषासुर घाती,
धूम्र विलोचन नैना,
धूम्र विलोचन नैना,
निश दिन मदमाती,
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी।
चंद मुंद संहारे शोणित बीज हरे मैया
शोणित बीज हरे,
मधु कै तब दो मारे,
मधु के तब दो मारे,
सुर भयहीन करे
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी।
ब्रह्माणी रुद्राणी तुम कमला रानी मैया
तुम कमला रानी,
आगम निगम बखानी,
आगम निगम बखानी,
तुम शिव पतरानी,
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी।
64 योगिनी गावत नित्य करत भैरो मैया
नित्य करत भैरो,
बाजत ताल मृदंगा,
बाजत ताल मृदंगा,
हरु बाजत डमरू,
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी।
तुम ही जग की माता, तुम ही हो भरता मैया,
तुम ही हो भरता,
भक्तन की दुख हरता,
भक्तन की दुख हरता,
सुख संपत्ति करता,
ओम अम्बे गौरी।
भुजाचार अति शोभित वर मुद्राधारी
वर मुद्राधारी,
मन वांछित फल पावत, मन
वांछित फल पावत,
सेवत नर नारी,
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी।
कंचन थाल विराजत अजर कपूर बाती मैया,
कपूर बाती,
श्रीमाल के तुम्हें राजत,
श्रीमल के तुम्हें राजत,
ज्योति रतन ज्योति,
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी।
श्री अम्बाजी की आरती जो कोई नर गावे मैया,
जो कोई नर गावे,
कहत शिवानंद मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वजः मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षं मंगलायतनो हरिः कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम। बोले जगदम्बा माता की जय, श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। नमः पार्वती पते हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम। Please just sit for a moment.